Howdy, y'all. Well, this is going to be a journey. I'm going to recount one of the most memorable tales of my entire life, and it has nothing to do with comic books. So anyone who's not interested in anything that I have to say that's not regarding comics, this might not be for you. But it is a very long tale, and this video series is probably going to be, oh Lord, 6 or 7 or 8 videos. I'm going to try to keep them, down around 10 minutes or whatever it is. But anyway, it's all about my 9/11/2001 experience, which is, I think, quite unique, and my friends and family have been asking me over the years to recount these tales of that week, and I want to make this video series because, frankly, I'm exhausted. 15 years later, telling these tales again and again and again. So I'm going to put this video series up for my friends and family and loved ones who love to hear me tell my tales about that week. This is going to be kind of the setup video, the preface video. Here we go. At the time, I was working as the assistant to the executive director of a mental health and mental retardation social services agency in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and it was founded in 1962 by the Harrisburg Jewish Women's Club. Nonetheless, I'm not going to get into names and identifiers and things like that, including the staff that was with me and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, the social services agency always had a fall trip for the MR group. We had a spring trip for the MH group and a fall trip for the MR group. And frankly, I never went on any of these trips, although the entire staff of the facility went along, because when you've got a busload full of 44 mentally ill people or mentally retarded people, you need all that staff, and we break them up into groups and all that. Anyway, I was always the one, as the executive director's assistant, I was always the one that stayed back, because at the social services agency, it was a drop-in center. It was an MH drop-in center. And the folks would come in and we'd have daily activities, and we served a hot lunch every day. So I was the one that stayed back because I had all of the administrative responsibilities, and I had access to the board members and the bank and the police and all, and I could also take care of, you know, the membership downstairs and all that. That's why I stayed behind. And plus, I had heard all the horror stories from staff that had gone on the trips, and they talk about how it's really like a 24-hour-a-day job for 5 days. And anyway, we had this trip to Cleveland, Ohio planned out. Going to visit the Cleveland Zoo, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We were going to do a dinner cruise on Lake Erie. And wrap the whole thing up with a trip to Six Flags over Texas in Cleveland on the final night. Great. Here is my folder that includes the itinerary and all that stuff. This is my own work here. You know, I typed all this up. It's got the staff list and the itineraries, check-in list, the room list where all the members would stay, or little graph of the hotel, cell phone list, all the members' names. Anyway, I created one of these for every member of staff that was going on the trip. Anyway, I wanted to go on this trip, and I'll tell you why. At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I had no great desire to visit, it was no big deal, but that particular year they were having a year-long special John Lennon exhibit from the collection of Yoko Ono and his fellow Beatles and his family. And John Lennon, I'm not going to go into John Lennon, all right now, but I knew I had to go. I had to see this John Lennon collection. I knew beforehand some of the material that was going to be in it, and I knew I had to go. Plus, I was a little bit curious about what these trips are all about. Again, I'd heard the horror stories, but I knew there was more to it than that, so I decided I was going to go on this trip. Okay, great. We left on the morning of September the 11th, 2001, from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was a beautiful day, beautiful September day. Low temps, not a cloud in the sky here on the East Coast, and that's one of the hallmarks of that day. Any of us, East Coasters will tell you that. It was just a stunningly beautiful day. Anyway, go up to the agency, get everybody checked in. Took, a couple of hours to get everybody checked in. We got everybody on the bus. Excuse me while I scratch my ass. Got everybody on the bus. And went down from Harrisburg to Carlisle to pick up the rest of our group, these MR people. Got on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And I'm going to wrap this little preface of the story up by saying that, I don't know, it must have been around 10 o'clock in the morning. We stopped at a rest stop on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, headed west toward Ohio. And that's when I first heard the first mention or rumbling of what was happening on 9/11. fellow staff member of mine wandered up to me and she said, "John, did you hear that they just evacuated the Sears Tower in Chicago?" That was the very first rumble of the immortal day of September the 11th, 2001. It was a Tuesday. Anyway, I'm going to come back, obviously, with the next part and how we as staff began to deal with this amazing, unprecedented crises. So anyone that likes a good story, tune in for all the rest of the parts of this tale, because you won't believe your ears. Hey, thanks for watching, my friends. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.